At this time, I would like to call to the podium a very good friend I have had the pleasure of working with when I was at Homeland Security and out at Hopkins Airport. He is currently the manager of the Cleveland Emergency Operations Center, Mr. Fred Szabo. Fred?
Thank you. Good morning. On behalf of Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson and the citizens of Cleveland, welcome to Cleveland City Hall. I'm Fred Szabo, a member of the Base Cleveland Veterans Committee, and on behalf of our committee and all military veterans employed by the City of Cleveland, I'm honored that you would join us to commemorate Veterans Day today. The City of Cleveland has a proud history of supporting military and veterans issues. The mayor formed the Base Cleveland Veterans Committee more than a decade ago, consisting of City of Cleveland military veteran employees who are committed to promoting and actively supporting veterans issues. Today we have the privilege of thanking our fellow veterans for their service and commitment to our country. Once a year, we gather here to honor and pay tribute to those who served and express our appreciation to our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who are serving our country today, some of them in far-off places and in harm's way. On behalf of all those who served and are serving today, thank you for your service and for joining us this morning. I have the privilege of introducing a former city prosecutor, city councilman, and city council president, a fellow veteran who served our country in Vietnam, the 56th and longest-serving mayor of the City of Cleveland, Mayor Frank G. Jackson.
Good morning. Good morning. First of all, I want to welcome you to the Rotunda City Hall and congratulate all those who will be recognized today. But most importantly, you know, we establish holidays and we celebrate those holidays because we want to remember. We don't want to forget. It allows not only for us to remember in the present, but also those who follow us, so that we can constantly remember those things that have made this day important to us. Veterans Day is one of those days. And I want to say to you, all of the veterans, that I remember you, and for all the veterans who have passed on, who have been, and who have given sacrifice for our country, that we all remember them. So thank you very much.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to stand for the presentation of the colors and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Our colors today, we are honored, are being presented by the United States Army, the United States Marine Corps, the Cleveland Division of Police, and the Cleveland Division of Fire. Color Guard, present the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we launched were so gallantly streamed. gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Carry heart.
Forward, march.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium United States Coast Guard District 9 Chaplain, Lieutenant Commander Jason Arendt, for our invocation.
Thank you. Would you join me this morning in prayer? Eternal Father, strong to save, we invite and recognize your presence. We invoke your blessing upon those who have stood the watch, upon those who are standing in the watch, and on those who are yet to follow. May you bind up and heal our wounds, external and internal. May you bring abundant joy to all who answer our nation's call. May service and love for family, friends, and country ever lead us to the richness of your favor and blessing. And may that favor and blessing unfold here in a special way during these events today. And it is in your great name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Before I forget, I would like to give a very special thank you to Officer Pete Williams, Cleveland Division of Police, for his outstanding job on the national anthem. I've been blessed to be at a number of events when Pete sings, and it's yes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rick DeShant. I'm the Executive Director of the Northeast Ohio Foundation for Patriotism, who has helped to support this event and underwrite it, the reception. Neil Pat, as we're known, for those of you who don't know it, I'll keep it simple. We've been around for almost 12 years with a single focus mission that draws its inspiration from song and poem in World War II, and that is, we will wait for them and pray for them until they all get home. And at Neil Pat, we have modified that mission to be, we'll wait for them and pray for them until they all get home. And if they or their families are in need, we at Neil Pat will do everything we can to assist them. And in the last 11 years, we have put $3.5 million back into the community in direct financial emergency support to military families, programming that helps military families, and events like this that promote education and awareness of the importance of the military and veterans community in Northeast Ohio. So thank you for allowing me to have this privilege to be your MC. At this time, I would like to call for special acknowledgements to the podium the President of the Joint Veterans Council of Cuyahoga County, and as you can see from his uniform and his jump boots, still serving as a Major, Army Ranger, Special Forces, Christopher Zurikowski, for some acknowledgements. Chris, Major.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Always love coming to Cleveland. It's my hometown. Actually just got back from Fort Bragg a couple days ago, so again, it's good to be home. I'd like to welcome you all to this ceremony on behalf of the Joint Veterans Council of Cuyahoga County. The Veterans Council is a collection of all your veteran service organizations in the area where we come together and meet to collaborate and work on veterans initiatives and events for one shared voice and one piece of solidarity. I'm also involved in many different organizations around the community because every veteran finds that when they come home, they continue to seek a mission. They continue to look for something with task and purpose. And that's why many of you are here today, and we thank you. So in recognition of that honor, if you are a past awardee, please stand up. If you are a past president, please stand up. If you're a veteran who is currently on active duty, please stand up. If you're currently serving or have served, please stand up. Now, more importantly, we look around and us veterans cannot do this without the support of our loved ones, our friends, and our families. So if you are a significant other or a family member of a veteran, please stand up. Please take a second to look around and say thank you. You may be seated. You know, also on the other half of my career, retiring from Homeland Security as an agent, we can't go anywhere, and 9/11 has proven our sacrifices and what people go through day in, day out as first responders. If you're a first responder, please stand up. These are special men and women of our community that continue to serve no matter how hard or how difficult it gets. Whether it's a sunny day or the most miserable Cleveland winter, we want to thank them as well for their support. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Last but not least, we have several members of the Cleveland leadership team. We thank you for that. We have several members in the audience also running for office. Thank you for coming, and we hope to see your success down the road. With that being said, I'd like to continue the ceremony.
Thank you, Major. And so we gather, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, when the big guns across France went silent. Personal to me, I am a fourth-generation veteran in our family, and it was when those big guns went silent that my grandfather earned his Purple Heart at the Battle of the Argonne Forest. So this day is extremely special. He's the one who taught me about buddy poppies and had me on Memorial Day and Veterans Day over at the VFW on Harvard Avenue when there was no I-480 to get across town and it was an hour-and-a-half drive. But you're going to learn about this, and I am forever grateful to my grandfather for invoking that message of service and sacrifice and giving back. And that's part of what I've also had the privilege in doing. Some of you know I'm a retired Coast Guard commander with 20 years. And it is a great honor for me today to introduce our guest speaker, who follows the Semper Paratus tradition as the new leader, commander of the Coast Guard here in the Great Lakes, Rear Admiral Michael Johnston. Rear Admiral Johnson previously served as the Coast Guard Assistant Commandant for Acquisition and Chief Acquisition Officer. Prior to reporting to CAO, as it's known, he served as the Program Executive Officer and Director of Acquisition Programs, where his duties included the management and oversight of all Coast Guard acquisition programs and projects for modernization and recapitalization of surface, air, command and control, and logistics support in Coast Guard and the Coast Guard's multiple maritime missions. Rear Admiral Johnson graduated from the United States Coast Guard Academy in 1990 with a Bachelor's of Science in Electrical Engineering After serving 2 consecutive tours afloat, he went on to the Georgia Institute of Technology to complete a Master's of Science in Electrical Engineering. He was selected to serve as the aide to the Commandant of the Coast Guard from 2000 to 2002. During this tumultuous time frame, he worked to help restore the nation to normalcy following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He also helped transition the Coast Guard into the newly formed Department of Homeland Security. He reported as commanding officer. He then went back to operations as the deputy commander of Group St. Petersburg, and he reported to his commanding officer of the Electronic Systems Support Unit in New Orleans, Louisiana, just 2 months before Hurricane Katrina. He coordinated response, recovery, and repair efforts for all command and control systems across the Gulf Coast from Mexico to Florida. From 2011 to 2014, Rear Admiral Johnston served as the commanding officer of the Coast Guard's Command, Control, and Communications Engineering Center. His other senior level assignments include serving as Deputy Chief Officer of Personnel Management, where he was responsible for all officer accessions, assignments, and qualifications. In June 2015, he was selected to be the Executive Director for the Deputy Commandant of Mission Support. And then just this past May, we were privileged to have him assigned here to the 9th Coast Guard District, which for those of you who don't know is all Coast Guard operations in all 5 Great Lakes and collaboration with the Canadians. And we are privileged to have him here in Cleveland and as our guest speaker today. Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Michael Johnston.
Well, good morning. I was checking out the back wall. It's impressive. Yeah, that's thank you, everybody, and good morning, Rick. I appreciate you inviting me, and thank you for your service, and thank all those who have assisted in bringing out this event. Fred, Officer Williams. A little bit of chills there. There was like an echo back there, and it seemed like when you were singing, like the entire hall was singing back at you. I was moved. Jason, as always, thank you for your prayers. Also, thank you to Mayor Frank Jackson. I've absolutely loved the city of Cleveland in our short time here. The food, the parks, the people, the food, the teams, and of course the lake. Darlene and I have been exploring the area and really just love it. Welcome to all the veterans in attendance and their friends and their families. I'd like to make a special welcome to our families here. We will talk and celebrate about our vets, but my grandfather was in the Navy, my father was in the Army, my brother was in the Air Force. I know military service for our members includes their families. And so thank you for all you do as well. It's an honor to be here. Today, this ceremony started on the 11th hour, on the 11th day, on the 11th month, and unfortunately, so many Americans no longer know the significance of that specific date and time. It is for this reason we gather. We're here today to remember not only what happened on that date over 100 years ago, but also to celebrate all those who have served this country, both at war and at peace, both those who have passed and those who are still living today. Veterans Day was originally called Armistice Day. It signified the official end of the First World War, and at the time it was believed to be the day which would signify the end of all wars. It wasn't until after the Second World War and the Korean War that President Dwight Eisenhower officially changed the name to Veterans Day, a change to better honor veterans of all wars. I'd like to take a moment to speak directly to our veterans. As of this past April, there were 19 million veterans alive in the country. This is less than 10% of the population. Furthermore, 17% of our elected officials in Congress have served. Both of these percentages are expected to go down over the next 25 years. And therefore, now more than ever, it's critical for you to share your stories. This country is desperate, in need for you to tell your fellow citizens about your service and how it shaped your worldview, how people were brought from all over the nation to work together for a common goal, bigger than themselves, in service of others, for others. While the number of storytellers may be declining, the total number of stories shared depends entirely on you. Share with them not only the hardships of service, but more importantly, the honor of defending this great nation. And now to those who have not been able to serve, you can play a part in this too. Seek out veterans and ask them about their experience. Less than 1% of those 19 million veterans served in the Second World War, and just 5% served in the Korean War. These heroic generations are fading, but if you hear their stories and pass them along to the next generation, they can live forever. As you can see, I'm here representing the United States Coast Guard, but I believe it's vitally important for you to know that today is about remembering the service and sacrifice of all members of the armed forces, those from our past conflicts and those still fighting today. But please let me take a moment to talk about the branch of the armed forces that I'm very proud of. Perhaps many of you do not know, but the Coast Guard has a long tradition of defending our country and actively participating in military operations. Since 1790, the Coast Guard has participated in every single one of our nation's armed conflicts. And today, we wear many hats: law enforcement officers, sailors, pilots, first responders, humanitarians, inspectors, and environmental stewards. We are completely committed to defending America's borders and protecting the maritime environment. You will find us working shoulder to shoulder with the community leaders to rescue and protect those in need. One of the most unquantifiable resources we provide American boating public, I believe, is hope. We are the nation's premier maritime search and rescue organization. Since the earliest days of the nation, we have always provided assistance to mariners in distress. The only two things we need to get underway is we think you're in trouble and we think we know where you are. In war and peace, we're there for you. Today is about honoring America's heroes, so I'd like to take a moment to share a story of a Coast Guard hero. Last month, the Coast Guard accepted delivery and commissioned the 45th Fast Response Cover. It's a 154-foot ship superiorly designed for protecting our waterways. I can say that because I was the acquisition officer and I worked on that. This specific vessel was named after Petty Officer First Class Emlyn Tunnell, or Tunnell. You may know Tunnell from his impressive professional football career, playing for the New York Giants. He was the first African-American to play for the New York Giants and the first African-American to be inducted into the National Football Hall of Fame in 1967. Or perhaps you know him from his collegial days, where he played for the University of Toledo, not far from here. However, what you may not know about Tunnell was his equally impressive career serving the United States Coast Guard during World War II, from 1943 to 1946. While serving, he saved the lives of his shipmates on two separate occasions. The first was after a Japanese torpedo struck a cargo vessel unloading in Papua New Guinea, causing a shipmate to be engulfed in flames. Without hesitation and disregarding his own safety, he jumps on them and puts out the flames with his bare hands. He saved that man's life. The second rescue was after a crew member aboard the Coast Guard cutter Tampa fell overboard into the freezing waters off Newfoundland, Canada. You may know the dangers, or you know the dangers of freezing waters here, I hope. Again, Tunnell's selfless instincts took over, and he immediately jumped overboard and rescued his drowning shipmate. Emlyn Tunnell passed away in 1975. As I said before, we're losing this generation. Emlyn had an amazing life in some very challenging times, and I believe that the lessons he learned while serving were instrumental in his many successes. Dedication, teamwork, leadership, selfless service. These are what make heroes and apparently Hall of Famers. So why do I share a story with you? It's because while Emlyn Tunnell's story is incredible, I know there are thousands of others equally as powerful out there. However, if not told, these stories can easily be lost. Tunnell's story could have been lost forever had it not been for a single individual who found his name inscribed on the back of an old photo and was intrigued enough to ask, what's his story? Today, the Coast Guard cutter, Emlyn Tunnell, is preparing to be stationed in Bahrain. There, in the Middle East, she and her crew will relieve one of our 110-foot patrol boats that has played a critical role in the maritime security of the region. The FRC will be one of several that will provide the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet with combat-ready assets. She will exercise the Coast Guard's unique jurisdiction and authorities to gain access to foreign ports, help strengthen relationships with our allies, and secure the region. In closing, let me say, it's not our ships, our boats, our tanks, our aircraft, our equipment, which make up the strength of the United States Armed Forces. It's the people who have served in the past and those who are actively serving today. The strength of the armed forces is the courage, commitment, and selfless nature of our soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guardsmen. It is the Emlyn Tunnells who give us strength. Thank you for taking the time to remember our veterans, past, current, and fallen. May we never forget our freedom. Freedoms are not free. They are paid for with the lives of those veterans who call American home. Thank you, Semper Paratus, and God bless the United States of America.
Admiral, thank you, and it's a real pleasure to have you in command here in the Great Lakes now in the 9th Coast Guard District, but I would remiss if I didn't recognize and tell you the real commander of the 9th Coast Guard District is Mrs. Johnston, who was gracious enough to join us today to be with her husband and represent the Coast Guard family here. Thank you, ma'am. At this time, we're going to move to our two presentations, the Judge Felix T. Mataya Outstanding Service Awards. And I'd like to call back to the dais, Major Sir Chris, so I call you back. And Admiral, if we could ask your assistance in handing these out, sir.
As veterans, we always look to emulate people that are very successful, people that drive and lead the community. Today we recognize two individuals and two awards that will be given out. The Judge Felix Mataya Award. Judge Felix Mataya, a native of Cleveland, Ohio, and the son of Thomas and Frances Mataya. Both of Felix's parents were born in German Poland, now included in the Republic of Poland. They raised 4 children, Felix, Walter, Kate, and Frank. Felix was their oldest. Felix served his community and his nation in peace and in war over a period of 65 years following his graduation from the Cleveland Law School of Baldwin Wallace, or Cleveland Marshall. He was raised on Cleveland's East Side and attended East High. While serving his community as assistant prosecuting attorney, he was granted leave of absence to enlist in service for World War I. On 1 November 1917, he joined the military and earned a commission as a second lieutenant in the cavalry. He was under orders for overseas duty when the Armistice was signed in 1919. He was honorably discharged at Camp Custer, Michigan, and immediately upon his return, he resumed duties as assisting prosecuting attorney. One of Judge Mataya's passions was commitment to his fellow veterans. Following the end of World War II, he dedicated a great deal of his time and energy to leading various committees formed to assist returning veterans from overseas, particularly those in his beloved Polish community of Cleveland. On Veterans Day 2015, the Joint Veterans Council of Cuyahoga County established an annual Veterans and Citizens Recognition Award, the Judge Felix Mataya Outstanding Service Award. This award constitutes a long-standing tradition started in Cleveland's veteran community, recognizing those outstanding veterans and citizens. These individuals epitomize the character and virtues that Judge Mataya brought to his life, his family, and his community. Our first is veteran Marty Flask. Marty, if you would come forward. Marty served his country, state, county, and city for more than 50 years. He joined the Navy in 1967 and sailed on board the USS Ticonderoga to ports around the world, including Midway Island, San Diego, and Tonkin Gulf, to mention a few. After his naval service, he was appointed to an office at the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. In 1973, he began his service with the Cleveland Division of Police, where he rose through the ranks to chief. As chief, he focused on community policing initiatives. Following his retirement, Marty was appointed the security manager at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. In 2006, he joined Mayor Frank Jackson's administration as the Director of Public Safety, where his leadership to the safety chiefs and assisted in the implementation of many noteworthy operational and technological programs. In 2014, he was appointed as an executive assistant to the mayor for special projects. Again, working on public safety projects in coordination with the community, city offices, and external entities. His experience is extended to the private sector, where he was the resident security agent for Major League Baseball. He served on many boards throughout his career, including the Red Cross and the Military Veterans Committee. He's a member of the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the FBI's National Institute of Associates. He is married to Eloise and is father of Robert, Pamela, David, Melissa, and the late Derek and Gregory. He has 15 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. You can read his extended bio inside today's program. Today, in recognition and grateful appreciation of his lifetime of service and contributions in support of our servicemen and women, veterans, and their respective families and fellow citizens, we give you this award.
Thanks, Major. Appreciate it.
Yeah, one sec. We got one more thing. Yeah, he's not allowed to leave yet. So just like his many times that Marty has told us he's retiring, we're going to keep him on the stage for one more thing. So the Joint Veterans Council has looked continuously and worked continuously with Marty. So we have created the Martin L. Flask Legacy Award. This will start being awarded next year in 2022. The nomination and consideration for criteria for a veteran is proof of U.S. military service, and honorable discharge, substantial commitment to the country, community through public service over a substantial amount of time. They have to perform exemplary and extraordinary deeds in service to our active duty members, fellow veterans, respective family, and the community. They also have to exhibit resolve to combat long-term problems that impact our communities. Services rendered have had or will have a substantial positive impact on the lives of both the veterans and the communities. To keep in mind, this award, the nomination period will start September 1st, and the deadline is October 1st of 2022. I ask you this to keep in consideration this award as we all work through the community and find that one recognizable person. The most important part of this award, if it was not highlighted, is it must be a community service member, as in a first responder. So thank you, Marty. We appreciate your years of continued service, and good luck.
Thanks. Thanks.
Marty. Sorry.
I consider this certainly an honor, but I've been privileged to have the opportunity to have served this community and our country for more than 50 years. As my retirement date comes soon at the end of the year, I can leave this job knowing full well that the men and women who are gathered here today, in particular the Base Cleveland veterans, NEOPAT, our county Joint Veterans Council, the Marine Corps League, will continue the tradition of hosting and coordinating an annual Veterans Day ceremony, and what we started 8 or 9 years ago, the annual Veterans Day Parade. Had it not been for a young sergeant in Cleveland Division Police, Sergeant Steve Merrifield, this parade probably would not have happened. But it's the right thing to do. And just one final comment. I used to have 9 great-grandchildren, now I have 12. Thank you.
Neil, if you would come up. So our second award to an outstanding civilian in support of veteran operations is Mr. Neil Sturba. Mr. Neil Sturba is currently employed by AMG, which is more commonly known as Affiliated Managers Group. AMG is one of the largest asset management firms in the world with over $700 billion in assets. Neil's role is Director and Regional Manager of the Ohio Valley region for AMG. Neil has been married to his wife, Lori, for over 31 years. They have one son, Alex, and 2 daughters, Emily and Phoebe. And they recently became grandparents to a lovely grandson. Neil is a 1977 graduate of St. Edward's High School. After high school, Neil traveled to Central College, where he double majored in government and economics. He was also inducted into Central College Hall of Fame in 2007 for his athletic endeavors. Neil's father, John Sturba, was a World War II veteran. Neil started placing flags on the graves of veterans interned at Holy Cross Cemetery located in Cleveland. That year, approximately 300 flags were placed on military graves. John kept doing this year after year with the help of his family, fellow friends and community members, as well as the Catholic War veterans of Post 579. In short, a tradition had been started that still lasts today. In 2006, 82-year-old John Sturba was masterminding the effort to place approximately 14,000 flags on veterans' graves at Holy Cross Cemetery. In a Plain Dealer interview, he voiced his concern over who would assume the leadership role of placing the flags on the graves. After John passed in 2009, Neil assumed the role, coordinating Memorial Day grave decorations. Fast forwarding to today, Neil, with the help of his sister and brother-in-law and staff at Holy Cross, developed spreadsheets of veterans' grave sites and corresponding maps for the entire cemetery. Each year, the information is updated to include newly deceased veterans. Neil estimates 17,400 flags will be needed to support the 22 effort. The maps and lists are an integral part for volunteers in placing the flags. Every year, rain or shine, on the Thursday before Memorial Day, the team is out placing flags. Neil, Judge Felix T. Mataya Outstanding Service Award, Civilian Honoree Neil Sturba, in recognition and grateful appreciation of his lifetime of service and contributions in support of our servicemen and women, veterans, their respective families, and fellow citizens. Thank you. An extended bio, because there's a lot more accomplishments, are also in your program. Do you want to say anything? Please.
Thank you. Put the clicks on. Find that. Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of quick comments here. I want to thank, first of all, Mayor Jackson and the organizing committee for having me here, having us here today. Really appreciate that. Secondly, the Catholic War Veterans, Post 579, and in particular Chuck Preto, who runs that group. That was my father's old group. I think Chuck nominated me, unbeknownst to me, obviously, and thank Chuck for that. More importantly, to all the family, friends, and volunteers, who helped make this a possibility of this even occur. In particular, my brother-in-law, who was mentioned, he's the one who does all the spreadsheeting and all the editing. And of course, my lovely wife, Lori, who shows an overwhelming amount of patience as I sit at a table editing maps, checklists, and organizing volunteers on an annual basis. And it takes us some significant time, so thank you, Lori. Lastly, and most importantly, to all the veterans here and those who are not with us for even making this day possible. In particular, I want to bring up my father, who was a World War II veteran and fought in the Battle of the Bulge. He didn't talk a lot about it, but I know he was there. I have his veteran's pin in my pocket today with me. And lastly, once again, thank you to all the veterans for affording us the freedoms that we enjoy today. God bless America. Thank you.
The next portion of our program is one that's kind of personal to me. Prior to doing what I'm doing for NeoPAD, I ran the Veterans Program at Cuyahoga Community College for 12 years. And one thing we noted, and again, working with the mayor who endorsed this, was recognizing the Student Veterans of the Year, both not only at Tri-C, but at Cleveland State, which have very aggressive, strong veterans programs. A big change from the Vietnam era, where colleges now are welcoming veterans to their campuses, have veteran centers, special programming, curriculum, resources for veterans. And so about 5 years ago, we started honoring a Student Veteran of the Year, and that is the segment where we're at. This gives me a great deal of pride because working with student veterans has been very important to me. NeoPAD is pleased to congratulate the 2021 Tri-C Student Veteran of the Year, Adam Smith. Let me tell you a little bit about Adam. Adam's foray into the adult world began shortly after his graduation from high school when he enlisted in the Army. He became a paratrooper major and the Army in the famed 82nd Airborne Division during his decade in uniform. Combat injuries resulted in the end of his military career in 2014. But as you'll see, that didn't stop his service. Smith's need to remain actively engaged in the community led him to a series of opportunities in Greater Cleveland. The first of these was with Safe Passages, an initiative that connected opiate addicts in treatment in conjunction with local police departments. Adam enrolled in Tri-C after visiting the Veterans Education Accent Program at the Metro campus. He co-founded a veterans think tank called Complex Questions to discuss community issues and to develop ideas for actionable solutions. Adam said, "The idea of serving isn't something that disappears once you leave the military. This is a way for us, now as citizens, to continue making a difference. There is so much we can accomplish as veterans." He subsequently connected with the Mandel Humanities Center at the Eastern Campus, where he became involved in the Cleveland Leadership Center. He represented the Mandel Scholars Program at Cleveland Leadership Center's Advanced Leadership Institute as a junior fellow. An internship opportunity led to a 16-week commitment to the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. During his tenure at Tri-C, Adam helped charter the Metropolitan Campus History Club. He initiated the My Cleveland program, providing club members with an introduction to many of Cleveland's historical gems. And Adam graduated from Tri-C summa cum laude in May 2021. His illustrious record earned him a place at Stanford University. We recently transferred there with a total aid scholarship. He is currently working with Stanford's Office for Military-Affiliated Communities, and he continues to provide support for Tri-C's veterans programming, working collaboratively to create a workshop at Tri-C to help engage student veterans transition between military, college, and career. Outside of college, Adam continues to be involved, serving as a mentor for Boy Scouts of America and volunteering with Safe Passage, all while fulfilling his role as a father. We are pleased to recognize Adam Smith as Tri-C's 2021 Student Veteran of the Year. Now, after all of that, to show you Adam is still actively engaged today on a project and could not join us, but joining us is my former colleague, Marjorie Morrison, who is heading the Veterans Program at Tri-C, and she will be accepting on behalf of Adam. And Admiral, if you'd like to help present this, we'll come over here. And the Admiral has something else for Adam. That's a Neil Pat Challenge coin. So, Marjorie? You do with the handshake.
Awesome. Thank you. I would just like to take a moment and thank Neopats for the recognition of this student. Thank you, Mayor Jackson. Adam was very enthused to receive this award. He is an outstanding gentleman who continues to serve his community, and he is obviously in California today, so not able to be here, but very much pleased to accept this award on his behalf. Thank you.
Our second Student Veteran of the Year comes from Cleveland State University, Barbette N. Allen. Barbie, as apparently the family likes to call you and your friends, is originally from Beechwood, Ohio, and grew up in a military family, with both her father and grandfather having served in the Navy. Her mother was passionate about ensuring that Barbie went to college and obtained a degree, so Barbie enrolled at the University of Toledo, where she majored in behavioral psychology. But while at U of T, she became intrigued with ROTC and decided to join. Barbie became a commissioned officer in the Army and served on active duty for 4 years. Now, you don't want to argue with her for a parking space because her military occupational specialty was ordnance, heavy artillery, and she served as a tank repair officer. where she oversaw the maintenance and repair of armored tanks, Humvees, aircrafts, and missiles. After completing her military career, Barbie decided to pursue a career in nursing. She became a CNA, followed by an LPN. A fellow nurse encouraged her to consider the Peace Corps, and after a bit of research, Barbie joined AmeriCorps Vista. Through this program, she became a registered nurse and spent 1 year working in social readiness nurse program, which prepared young children for preschool. She then became an AmeriCorps Vista leader and was in charge of recruiting nurses throughout Southern California for a year. Barbie then served abroad with the Nurses Without Borders program of the Peace Corps. She was assigned to the country of Jordan, where she fulfilled a variety of duties, including teaching doctors to speak English as part of the Fulbright program, writing grants. And one of her grants included the funding of opening of a community clinic, which she served and developed programs for building self-esteem among Arab women, improving access to clean water and wells, and providing school supplies for children. She spent a total of 3 years in Jordan. Following her time in AmeriCorps Vista and Peace Corps, Barbie moved back to Ohio and completed her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. She is now at Cleveland State Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioner Specialization track of the Doctor of Nursing Practice program and will graduate in the summer of 2023. Barbie's continued dedication to public service and improving the lives of others, along with her commitment to academic excellence, serve as an example of the incredible experience and value that veterans bring to Cleveland State and the Cleveland area. We are proud to award Barbie with this much-deserved recognition as the Cleveland State University 2021 Student Veteran of the Year. Barbie.
Thank you so much, everybody. Just listening to all of the awards and accomplishments that I have achieved, I want to thank God for giving me the strength and the encouragement to complete every task that I have set my mind to do. Today, I stand here with tears because I actually don't feel like I deserve any awards because I do things out of the love of my heart. And when you do things out of the love of your heart, you don't feel deserving, you just do it. And coming from a military background and a military family, my grandfather, God rest his soul, he would always tell me, when you find something that you care and are compassionate about, it is effortless, and God will lead you in that direction. I stand here representing many organizations. First and foremost, HUA, United States Army. HUA. United States Army, where I learned leadership skills. ROTC taught me how to voice my opinion and not be afraid to stand up when I feel something is right or when I feel something is wrong. I also want to thank AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps Vista. Many people don't know about AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps Vista, and they should. AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps Vista volunteers are very important to our community and throughout this country. Not only do you have to serve in the military, but serving our community is most important and foremost a need. Lastly, I also want to thank Peace Corps, serving abroad, which I think was the hardest, job I have ever loved, and that is their slogan. I served in Peace Corps in Jordan for 3 years, and there is when I fell in love with my host family. I wasn't really pleased because I didn't want to go to Jordan because of not only not only of the bad rumors that the Middle East has, but because I was afraid to learn Arabic. I thought I would never learn Arabic, and I don't think I would be a good fit, but I toughed it out like I did. And now I am so grateful and so thankful that I did. And lastly, I want to thank Cleveland State University. I am among so many wonderful instructors and so many wonderful students and nurses. We have a loving program, and I encourage those who are thinking about going into nursing to do so, because we are at a nursing shortage. And last but not least, I want to thank Mayor Jackson. I'm so sorry you are retiring, and I'm so happy to meet you today. And also, I want to thank the vets who serve and who are continuing to serve, and God bless America. Thank you so much.
As you can see, the future of the veterans community is in very good hands, and that's one of the reasons we've put together this recognition, that Cleveland has drawn a lot of strength from its veterans, but to recognize these students and for what they're doing, this is part of the future of Cleveland. And again, veterans stand up, and we've got your six covered. At this time, if you'd like to join us, we're going to have Officer Pete Williams return again to the podium to engage us in the singing of God Bless America. Officer Williams.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with your light from above. From the mountains, through the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you.
As we bring our ceremony to a close, just to go through the order of precedence, I'm going to recall Major Zurakowski here to the podium for a benediction, and then we are honored to have the representative of Cleveland Pipes and Drums will play Amazing Grace, followed by the volley by the Gung Ho Detachment. So, Major Zurakowski.
Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we ask that your blessing be bestowed on our friends and loved ones. We thank you for this opportunity to share with them this special occasion to honor our veterans. We remember again all those who served and are serving in our armed forces. Today and every day, may we honor our veterans. May we continue to highly esteem those worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called upon to serve and protect this country. Let us always honor the memory of those brave men and women who sacrificed so that we may experience freedom in our country. Heavenly Father, keep their families in your kind care. Bless them and comfort them in their time of sorrow. Let us be reminded of life, liberty, justice, freedom, and democracy, that we may bear grateful to you for those veterans who gave so much for their country. We ask your blessing upon this celebration, and when we depart, help us as we seek to live as good citizens and carry out our responsibilities to always honor you. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Gung-ho detachment, sound the volley. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony. Thank you so much for your time, your presence here today. It's so important as we continue these traditions in the greater Cleveland community. Mayor Jackson, you will always have an invite to this ceremony, even though you'll be moving on to different things. Sir, you are always welcome, and we can't thank you enough for what you've done to keep these traditions alive. Admiral Johnston, thank you. Major, why you jump out of perfectly good planes, I don't know. I will end as we did at the 11th hour, the 11th day, as I mentioned. My grandfather was a World War I vet, and I always like to close with a poem that was special to him. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours, hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field. Thank you so much. And then shortly, right out front, our Veterans Day Parade will be stepping off. We ask if you can stay, please enjoy it. It's as I look out, we finally got a break in the weather this year. So thank you so much.
$75 a year for her to use that laptop. Really?